We're back.
Yes,
Episode
we are.
6. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's 2024, you guys, just in case you didn't know.
And we're not dressed up.
No, we're not. That doesn't mean we won't dress up in the future, so just stay tuned. We already know what we're going to do for next month because
Oh, you got it already?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh, so it's not New Year, New Me. What was the saying that you said to that?
Oh, I said New Year, same me, because I was never the problem.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's that should be like the tagline to the episode.
Yes.
I love that.
Well, I feel like, I don't know for you, I mean, I try to follow my New Year's resolutions.
Okay,
but
let's do them. You got one?
So my big one is saving money. I love clothes and shoes and rock
Okay.
concerts. And I...
In that order?
Yes. I actually switch it up. I would say rock, concerts, clothes, and then shoes. But yeah, I need to save money. I want to save to buy some more stuff for my house and stuff like that. So yeah, but what are yours?
I was seeing somebody on the internet was like, do New Year's resolutions that like things that you like.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like they were like eat more blizzards from Dairy Queen.
like what's in and what's out, right?
No, just like you know how New Year's resolutions are always like hard,
depressing.
hard, yeah, like buy less of what you love.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna be like, eat more Dairy Queen.
I like it. I like it. Well, luckily, I think there's still one down the street from here, so you
Yeah,
gotta
there
have
you go.
blizzards for lunch now.
Yeah.
Like I'll have to be like, what flavor did you get today?
Yeah,
So,
right.
But
no,
yeah.
but really, I don't know. You know, work out, that kind of stuff. It's the typical ones. I don't really make New Year's resolutions. I have like, all right, well, holiday season's over, so I'm not going to be a complete glutton anymore.
Same. That's pretty much it. I feel like you just kind of let loose during the holidays.
Oh
and you're
my
like, all right,
goodness.
time to reel it back
Crazy.
in. But yeah, I think that's the hardest part. But I will say the gym has been ridiculous. Like,
Oh yeah. Tell us about that.
Not
yeah.
even in a bad way. Like I'm happy that everybody's like getting their New Year's resolutions. But
Right.
I waited for a squat rack yesterday for over an hour. I went up and did something else, came back, still completely taken. I was like,
my goodness.
I'm to the point where I'm just gonna go like start squatting whatever weight the person has on the bar and see what they do.
Just wait 2 weeks and then you'll get your squat.
Yeah,
right.
well, I hope so, but I also feel bad. I don't want to hope that because I'm glad people are
That's
like
true.
in there doing their thing.
That's true.
But at the same time, I'm kind of like I loved when it wasn't that busy, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And we were talking about New Year's. I feel like you're teetering on that stage in your life where going out is almost not fun anymore.
No, so I don't want to say. I think it's lost its luster. I guess like a lot of my friends have moved away, and they're some of them live in like Fredericksburg and like Washington D.C. and like they just tell me these crazy things that happen up there. Like they drop. Oh, did you see like in Idaho they dropped a baked potato? Like
No, that's
stuff like
awesome.
that.
No.
Yeah. So I think like in the coming years I'm probably gonna want to do something where I go to like Idaho and see a baked potato get blown up or something. Like
Yeah, that would be sweet.
But yeah, no, Roanoke's still great though. Like growing up here, I think I've just gone out like every year to drink. So I think it's one of those things. Like it's just kind of same thing.
Yeah,
year,
right.
You know, so.
And more cold. But you know what? Something you'd never catch me doing is going to Times Square.
Oh, no way.
It sounds. They wear diapers.
Yes.
They're out there at 5:00 in the morning. What about that is appealing?
I think it's to be on national television, I guess, like behind the host. Like, I guess it's a once in a lifetime, but I don't get the appeal. The longest,
0 in a lifetime.
Yeah, the longest I could probably wait in line with my ADHD is probably like 2 hours.
I know.
I'm out.
I know. It
like,
just sounds miserable.
Yeah.
It just there's nothing appealing to me.
No, same. I'll just watch it on my TV at home. Like that's fine with me. So.
But something that is appealing was those football games on January 1st.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you watch football. Me and Rob actually like football. I've been getting more into it lately. So
sweet. I love that.
But the games from this past Monday, they were insane.
Insane.
There were so many fumbles in that first game.
That's why I love college. People are like, I'd rather watch the professional. I love the amateurism and like the randomness because like pro football, you would never see that many fumbles. They would just put in like another guy that makes millions of dollars.
Right. Exactly.
Like it's just kids. Like obviously they make a lot of money now, but the imperfections for college football is what I love about it.
Me too.
It's just chaos.
Yes, it is. And then even the second game was great too, but I felt like the second game it was more scoring, but the first game it was just so many like random like mistakes that just kept you on your toes. You're like, oh my gosh, did that really just happen? Like Michigan's fumble on the kick that one time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh,
it
it gave me a heart of town.
I know.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? But
yeah, I have 2 old man takes for the football games.
Okay.
First one, they need to start earlier.
Yes.
I can't be up till 1:00 in the morning the day after New Year's. I was like closing my eyes, wanting to.
Yeah, me too.
Wanting to just go to bed, but I was like, I gotta fight it out.
Yeah.
And then the second one is the mouthpieces. Why does nobody wear their mouthpieces?
I don't know. That's too dangerous for me. I'd have to wear some mouthpieces.
It's like become a fashion accessory.
I saw one kid had like a spot in his helmet he could stick it in, and
they have one here, and then they have one dangling. I don't get it.
What if grass gets in there though? You know, like you just put like grass and dirt back. I guess you don't care at that point.
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah, at least some of them do wear mouth guards, but the ones that don't, I mean. Your teeth, I've had a couple times.
Bite your tongue?
Yes. Well, I've had a couple times where I've gotten hit in the head so hard that my teeth have chattered.
Yeah.
That does not
playing
feel
soccer,
good.
right?
Yeah. That does not feel good. No, just in everyday life.
Walking down the street.
Walking down the street. No, definitely in soccer. That'd be a miserable life. Like, just like you wonder every second if you're going to get hit that hard in the head.
Some people are clumsy
walking into work.
Yeah.
Like,
dangerous jobs.
Yeah, right. Today going to be the day where I get knocked out cold. Like, no thank you. But
So did you watch both games? Did you stay up for the second one? Or
I could only
make it halftime?
No, I made it halfway. I think I watched until about 10, and then I was like, it's time to go to bed.
Well, you're an early riser. You're up at like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
fighting the people at the squat rack.
Well, like one of our coworkers said that too. Yeah. Well, if you go, that's the life hack. You go super early in the morning, even though it's terrible. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Because there's only like 20 people in there.
Right.
So, and I go to a gym that has lowered their prices, but it is like really nice. So it's gotten to the point where like people are just. They come in there by the groups. Like
right.
But
trying to get everyone. But Washington versus Michigan, who you got?
Ooh, I have never been a Michigan fan. I have to say Washington. No? I'm a big Michigan State fan.
Oh, yeah, me too. I worked there.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that. So I like Michigan State, and I'm obviously a Tech fan, but we're not going to. They did good in their bowl game, but they've never made it this far.
They did win their bowl game. That was a good win.
Yeah, but I think.
Liberty got crushed.
Yeah, sadly. We got to root for the Virginia teams. But
yeah.
Well, except for UVA. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? I was going to say, you're rooting for. I'm not rooting for Tech.
No. Okay, agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you?
I kind of like Michigan, even though I worked at State. I don't know the whole cheating thing. It's everybody steals signs. It's like part of the gamesmanship.
Yeah.
And like the Ohio State being the one that reported it. It sounds like you've been getting your butt whipped, and then you start saying somebody's a cheater. I just don't really like that.
Which happens so much.
So I don't know. This is one of the rare games where I'm okay with either of them because I love the quarterback for Washington. Like he tore both of his ACLs. He's a transfer. Like he's like 24 years old playing in college because he's gotten hurt so many times.
Oh yeah, isn't he like a super senior or something like?
Super duper COVID. Super duper COVID senior. Triple senior.
Okay, we're gonna trademark that. Nobody else uses it.
Yeah, right. So I'm okay with either of them. I think I just want a good game, and the last couple of national championships have been blowouts. Yeah. So if we get a good game, that would be cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think so too. Like I like Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, which is their coach. Yep. He is so entertaining to watch.
Oh my goodness! Did you see his dad? He's a carbon copy of him.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. Well, I liked the shades he was wearing during their game Monday. I was like, he's kind of styling over there. I'll give him some credit for it. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'm looking forward to watching it Monday. So.
Me too. All right, well, let's get into it. Yeah. Episode 6, 2024, first one. What do we got in store for the people today?
Yeah, so we actually have a new segment, which we may not do it every episode, but it's a segment that will come every so often. It's called Rob Reacts. So this is Rob, and he's going to be reacting.
All right.
I'm not sure. Actually, I am sure. I think a lot of people are actually familiar with Mandela Effects.
Oh, yeah, it's mainstream.
Yeah, or they've heard of them.
Yeah.
But
okay, what do we got?
I have a few here. Which,
I purposely did not read this.
Yes, good. Okay.
So I can have real reactions.
Yes,
you do such a great job preparing it, but I did not read it on purpose today.
Well, let me tell the people, just in case they're not familiar, a Mandela effect is defined as an instance when you remember something that doesn't actually match historical records. And the name was coined because a political leader, Nelson Mandela, when he passed away in 2016, people swore that he died when he was actually held prisoner in the 1980s. And people remember like news coverage of it, and it just never happened.
Right.
So the first one that I had to put down for the one that you're going to react to, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I actually remember this. the Mandela Effect way. So Darth Vader doesn't say, Luke, I am your father. He actually just says, no, I am your father.
That's just so crazy.
Yeah.
I could have sworn he said, Luke, I am your father.
No.
I mean, it's like in movies, they quote, Luke, I am your father.
I know, which is crazy because I think it's such a large group of people that misremember it that way that's why it made the list. Yeah, so I think
that's crazy.
Yep.
I could have sworn it was Luke, I am your father.
Nope, it's just no. I
what
am your
in
father.
The world?
Yep, and I remember as kids, me and my brother actually had a friend.
Yeah,
and we would say that to him all the time.
I used to like you ever put your head in the back of a fan?
Yep.
And you talk into it, like distorts your voice. I used to always say, Luke, I am your father.
Yes, well now you got to change it because it's not historically correct.
So what is it?
So it's just, no, I am your father. He never says Luke. So
wow.
Yeah, pretty. That one blew my mind when I read that the first time. So
all right, duly noted.
Yes. So the second one is the Fruit of the Loom logo. This one I actually became aware of recently, and I have a picture of it here, which only Rob can see it, but you guys can look it up on the internet. So it's that top one. So I don't know about you, but I remember it with the cornucopia.
Yeah, it definitely has a cornucopia.
But it's actually, it's always been just the fruit.
What?
And I think that is just not true.
Somebody's lying to us.
Yeah, somebody's lying because I think a girl on TikTok actually pulled out like some kind of garment she had, and it actually had the cornucopia.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, people are saying that the original logo is just a pile of fruit.
Okay.
So there's your second one.
Did not know that.
You. Yep. And then the third one, which this is one of the most popular ones too.
Yeah.
The Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstain Bears. So I have another picture for Rob to look at.
Yeah, I've heard about this one. There's no way that there's an A in there.
So,
there's no way. I think I got to go find my old books because I used to read these as a kid, or my parents used to read them to me.
Yeah.
And I could have sworn it was with the E and not an A.
Apparently, it's always been an A. I remember it with the E as well. But somebody...
That's crazy.
I don't know if this is true, but when I was actually looking up the pictures for you to look at, I saw a Simpsons episode where it was Berenstein.
So maybe that's how it happens. Like
I think so
one
too.
person messes it up and then it just keeps rolling.
Which I think is also crazy because with Simpson predicting things, I wonder if they did that as a joke and they're like, oh, let's just mess
with people,
everybody's memory.
Or it's just like one person in the writing room that makes a mistake and then it just becomes a part of an American fabric.
Yeah. So the fourth one we have is Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. So if you watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you probably remember her saying Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
Yep, no doubt.
But it's actually Magic Mirror on the Wall instead.
Magic mirror?
Yeah, so she never said mirror, mirror. She said magic mirror on the wall.
No, I don't believe that one. Did you get it? Are you sure?
Yes, I actually watched a YouTube video. She says
just
magic
mirror.
Just
to make
mirror.
sure?
Yep.
What?
We're living in an alternate universe, you guys.
Simulation.
I swear. Yeah. So this one's probably my favorite, this next one, and I saved it for last because I think it's hilarious. So one of the most well-known examples, and there's like Reddit threads, there's just all kind of things on the internet about this. There is a movie called Shazam that people thought actor and comedian Sinbad starred in the 1990s. So no such movie exists. But there was a children's movie named Kazam, and it's starring Shaq.
See, I remember Kazam. This one, I'm on the side of the truth. These other ones, especially the Berenstain Bears, or Stain, I'm even saying it wrong. I watched the Shaq movie, Sinbad. But like, how do they have? Who made the image for it? I'm looking at an image of it.
So I'm thinking that somebody just took.
You know what it probably is? You know what it probably is? I bet you they did like test shots for it. Could have.
Yeah. But I know him as what is the character in Jingle All the Way? The pink.
Oh, it's a messed up world we live in with messed up people.
Yes,
the postman.
Yes. Well, that's how I know Sinbad. So, but I did see this image on the internet. That
he played here a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Oh, no
really
way.
Nice guy. He took care of like all of his
that's
own
so sweet.
stuff. Yeah.
So here's the two images. You guys can also find these on Google if you Google them, but somebody did a really good job on this topic.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
But yeah.
So what's your theory on how this happens?
I think people just a collective group of people just misremembered things, but there is actually groups on Reddit that swear that they just have the wool pulled over their eyes on the Sinbad and Kazam and Shazam thing. So if you guys want to go look it up and go down a rabbit hole, I know I did.
Yeah, I heard that it's a government experiment to see if they can trick us into believing things.
Yeah.
So then that way they know how to trick us so they can do bigger things next time.
Yeah, and that's what the people that are on the Sinbad side say as well. So
I think you're right, though. I think it's just like it becomes like referenced one time. Like these things are so old. It's just like, have you ever seen the one with the Publishers Clearinghouse with the guy that you show up his house?
Yes.
With your check? He never worked there.
Yes, which
that
is
one's
wild.
That one's wild.
I was gonna put that one on the list, but I thought about it. I was like, oh my gosh, like because I was trying to find like videos and stuff, but I'm gonna have to learn how to like splice the videos in so I can show.
Yeah,
that's just crazy. But all this stuff's on the internet. You guys can find it. I think it's a really interesting like rabbit hole to go down if you have some free time and just want to learn. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, let us know in the comments which ones you blow your mind.
Yeah.
What your theory are. Is the government tricking all of us, or are people just misremembering things?
Yeah. I think I'm on. You said you're on this. What side are you on?
I think it's just. It's fast. I think it's still fascinating because like for a whole like country or world to misremember the same thing.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's wild how like minds and things work.
Yep.
They say like your memories aren't even really like what happened. It's just you're remembering your memory of it.
It's very true.
So like if you were to like actually look at one of your memories and like have like somehow have a recording of what happened, it would be different that way. So I think it's the human mind just like piecing things together.
Yeah.
Somehow it became a part of the American lexicon and then just evolved from there.
Yeah.
My favorite is like Sinbad played into it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He's like they're trying to tell me not to tell you.
Yeah.
And then people will make TikTok videos and they're like, look, he's telling the truth. I'm like, he's obviously kidding around.
Just messy. Yeah, he's messing around, which honestly, if I was in his position, I'd do the same thing.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Why wouldn't you? Like,
I love
that's
it.
hilarious.
I love it.
But yeah, so those are the Mandela effects, and that was Rob Reacts to Mandela
I love that.
Effects. So,
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, well, it is 2024. We have some super exciting events coming up for you guys this year.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not even done announcing all of them yet. So.
Oh, yeah. No, we got plenty of announcements. We're getting ready probably the summer. It's hard to say, but winter kind of just started, but we're kind of almost turning the page. Because in our world, we're always looking ahead.
Yeah.
Because we're always trying to get to the next event. So, yeah, we'll be announcing maybe some summer shows or some outdoor things. Maybe.
Super excited for that.
Yeah, definitely coming up. So, so we got the dogs on January 5th. The dogs have been rocking and rolling. New Year's crowd was awesome. It seems like there's a new attendance record every other game. With the support for the dogs this year have just been awesome. So they're at the 5th and the 6th. They're going to be at home, and then the 18th, another home game, and then the 20th, Guns and Hoses. Sells out every year. So if you're going to want to go, we used to do it. It was mayhem. We used to do it where you just show up and you put money in a boot, and then eventually we just turn people down. But now we did it so you can buy your ticket in advance. You make sure that you sit together. So if you're going to go to that event, definitely get your tickets in advance. It's the way to go. The Greater Virginia Bridal Show, which Tiffany and I will be at. So
come say hi.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have some free food. We're going to sample food from our new wedding venue, the Bella Vista Room, which if you haven't seen, it's absolutely gorgeous. And then we got some more dogs on January 26th and the 27th. The dogs will be playing the Pensacola Ice Flyers. Definitely bring the kids out. My son is begging me to take him to a game again. We've already been to a couple, so we'll be back here. Public skate on January 28th, which is always fun. Skating is so much fun. Do you ice skate?
Yeah, I actually like it. Like I don't want to say this to jinx myself, but I typically don't fall. So
there you go. That's step one.
But we do have the little ice push things if you do, which nobody's judging here. So, but it's a really good time for your friends and your family. So
it's great.
Come out for those. Yep.
Yeah, it's just open skate. Music's playing. If you like ice skating or if you've never ice skated before, definitely come out and check it. And then to close out the month, on the last day of the month, we have Extreme with Living Color, which is going to be an awesome show. They've been rocking it. They're out on tour right now. Check out the videos on our social media if you want to check them out. They got some hit songs. It's going to be a great show. If you like rock music, definitely come and check that out.
Yeah. So that's an exciting January.
It is.
And we are so excited to see you guys at these events. And if you guys come out and see me or Rob running around, come up and just say, hey, we've actually had a couple people tell us that they're like, hey, the podcast like is great and all that stuff.
Yeah,
we love that. So if you guys see us, you guys listen to the podcast, come up and say hi.
Definitely.
We love that stuff. But like I said, we're super excited for these events, excited for the future. And yeah, I think we actually did an interview, speaking of things at Kirkland Center.
We did, which I'm excited for everyone to see.
Yeah.
I'll wait to say why I'm very excited.
Yeah.
But it is an interview with the president of the curling club, which is curling. Curling is such a cool sport. It took off on the Olympics. If you're interested, want to know how to play, we break down the rules. We talk about the GOATs, the greatest of all times. You got to do those debates when you're talking about sports.
Yeah.
We break down the positions. I learned a lot, and she was super informative.
Yeah.
But there's another reason why I love it, and I wanted somebody to do a counter. Tiffany was fighting for her life during that interview.
Oh my gosh. I actually totally forgot until you mentioned this. Yes. So I actually got a really bad case of the hiccups. I haven't had hiccups
before we
so
started
long.
recording.
Yeah, and I swear when I go back to edit the footage, I am about to hear so many hiccups.
Oh my
but
goodness.
if you guys want to play a fun game and count how many hiccups, drop it in the comments. I want to know myself.
Oh my goodness. We were just like, while we were doing the interview, like I would like send it to you for a question, and then like I could see the hiccup. All right, she's not ready for one yet.
I'm just literally fighting for my life. Like I didn't want to like
dying.
Yeah, because Emily's so great. Emily came in, she was ready to do the interview, and I of course don't like. I was like, there's no point in postponing. Like, let me go to the bathroom, try to get my
Tiffany's
life together.
A warrior.
Yeah, I chugged some water. I did some like tricks that I knew nothing was working, but eventually towards the end of the interview, I got rid of them. But
you did. You powered through it. I was proud of you. You were like. You stuck it out. I go, do you need a second? And you kind of just laughed at me like, what am I going to go do?
Yeah, to do some cartwheels in the hallway. There's so many things that people say get rid of hiccups. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I say peanut butter hippopotamus after holding my breath for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Usually that works. Did not work the other day.
Work. You got through it, though. And it was a great interview.
We killed it.
So listen to the information, and then also just like notice Tiffany just fighting for her dying, just fighting through it, powering through it. I would say, if we're gonna go sports reference, it was like your Jordan flu game. Like you had the flu and you powered through it, and you did a major. You dropped 40 and got 10 rebounds. It was great.
That's probably about how many hiccups I had too during the whole interview. So you guys tune in. It'll be right after this, and we will see you guys for episode 7 coming up in February.
All right, we'll see you soon. Have a good month. Happy New Year. Please help us welcome on Emily Morris, the president of the Roanoke Valley Curling Club. Thanks for joining us, Emily.
Thanks. Excited to be here.
Yeah. We figured you have you on. I know I love curling. It's so much fun to watch during the Olympic times. But Roanoke has an awesome club, and we wanted to get you guys some information about it. So, Emily, could you start by maybe just telling us about yourself and how you got into curling and all of that?
Sure. My name is Emily Morris, and I started curling in 2004 when I moved to the Washington, D.C. area. I curled there for about 7 years, and then my husband got a job down in the Roanoke area, so we moved down here, and I realized it was a curling desert. There was no curling. And I lived in that desert for 7 years before I decided that we needed to do something about it.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, so I found a couple other people who had curled before and who wanted to help, and we created the Roanoke Valley Curling Club in March of 2018, just in time for the men's Olympic curling American team to win the gold medal. So
I remember. Yeah, curling looks like so much fun, but I don't know if I fully understand it. Right, like Tiffany, what's kind of your thought about curling?
I would say the same thing. I definitely I watch it on TV and I've seen it in person, but I think you should definitely tell us a little bit more about it.
I know they're brushing really fast, so maybe if you want to go through like how the sport works and like maybe give us some background on like how you play it, and then maybe we can get into some strategy too.
Sure, I'll sum it up with one sentence and then we can get into the details.
Okay.
All right, so basically you have 2 teams of 4 people, and each person takes turns sliding 42-pound rocks, or sometimes they're called stones, down a sheet of ice for 125 feet. to try to land the rock as close to the center of the target, which we call a house, as you can. The scoring's a lot like bocce, so you can score multiple points, but your stones need to outcount your opponent's stones on the scoring.
Okay, yeah, that's I love the way to break it down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. So like, where does the when you see like them brushing it real fast, does that make it go faster because they're smoothing out the ice, or like what's the deal there?
Sure, you can't actually speed up the stone. That would break some kind of laws of physics or something. But what you do is you reduce the friction by, I think you sort of create like a little bit of melted ice. I mean, you can't see it. It just reduces the friction. And so the rock can go further. It can also go straighter. So if you're watching it on the Olympics, they could be sweeping for one or both of those reasons.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so does everybody get to throw, or do you have like a designated person that pushes and the designated sweepers?
Yeah, so everybody on a team throws 2 rocks. You have a position, a lead, they throw the first 2 on the team, and the second throws the third and fourth stone on the team, and the vice skip usually throws the 5th and 6th rocks, and then the skip, who's sort of like the general on the battlefield, they throw the 7th and 8th rocks.
Okay, so the strategy-wise, who do you put the best people last as kind of like the clutch performers, or where as far as like your best throwers, or how do you strategize it like that?
Well, each team sort of comes up with their own dynamics. I mean, typically you want an experienced person who is the skip, because they're going to be sort of calling the strategy.
Gotcha.
So the more experience they have, the better. But if they're not the best person, or they don't perform well under pressure, then sometimes they can throw in any order. They don't have to typically throw in.
Right. So what position do you play?
Here with the Roanoke Valley Curling Club, I usually am the skip, and I usually throw the last 2 rocks. But in other situations, I'm sometimes the lead. I throw the guards.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
That's great. Well, can you tell us how about you said you started the Roanoke Valley Curling Club in 2018?
Yes.
So tell us how that's been going. How's the interest? How was the interest up front, and how's it going now?
It's going well. We sold out a lot of Learn to Curls to begin with.
Sweet.
We got some great core members. We were sort of really on the upswing, and then COVID happened.
Yeah. Right. That was tough, huh?
Yeah, we had just finished our 2019-2020 season, like the week before COVID happened. So we did get that full season in, but then the next year we were out because of COVID, and so we were a little bit worried coming back. But we came back. We lost a few, but we stayed about the same because of the dedication of our members, and we're now picking up. We're not selling everything out right now, but we are getting pretty close to having a full league.
Oh,
So
cool!
Nice.
So does it work like you do the Learn to Curls, but you guys do it competitive as well, right?
We do. We have a league on most Sunday nights from October through March, and we have different. It's sort of like pickup curling, so we don't have set teams. People come in and go, and we try to make the teams sort of even with experienced players and new players. And sometimes we have people who've never even done a Learn to Curl come and join the league, and
really?
We're happy to teach them as part of the league curling. So.
And then how does one sign up for it? Where do you go to do it? What's the cost associated with it?
So we have signups ongoing right now for the second half of our league, which starts on January 7th, and you can go to our website, which is www.curlroanoke.com. And for a new person who's never curled before, for this second half of the season, it's $150.
Oh, okay. That's affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I'm sorry, was that, you said that was the Learn to Curl, or that was the to join the league?
That's to join the league.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we have coming up. We don't have any more Learn to Curl scheduled. We had one right before the holidays, and it was incredible. We had a lot of fun.
Oh,
we had
really?
people from age 12 or 14 to in their 70s, and everybody had a blast.
That's
awesome. Oh, really?
Yep.
That's awesome. It doesn't surprise me too much that Roanoke responded well to this. It's, they love their ice here. It's just you would never expect it from a town in Southwest Virginia, but the way they respond to hockey and people have a lot of passion and love being out on the ice in Roanoke.
Yeah, I had somebody tell me just the other day. I was like, wow, I just like being down here on this level.
Oh, really?
With the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also been interesting that we've had, one person who lived in Canada who never curled when they were in Canada, but came down and we taught them to curl. And then curling originated in Scotland. A lot of people don't know that. Okay. But we had one person who we taught to curl from Scotland, and he's now back in Scotland. So I hope he's continuing to curl. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's too funny. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like deeply rooted in here, but you really do get the sense that people like to be around ice. I'm interested in kind of, can we get down on like the details of the sport? So like, what's some strategy that goes into it? Like, do you like go for the back ones first, or like when you're picking your spots, can you talk about like strategy that's involved into the sport?
Sure. I mean, and some of it varies onto what level you're curling.
Right.
A lot of times people are like, oh, you see a rock get in the house, which is, you score points in the house, and so you feel like you have to throw it out. Throw one to take it out. But that's not always the best strategy. The best skips, the ones in the Olympics and even in rec curling who really have this, the strategy mind, they want to think of it as chess on ice. That's sort of another nickname for curling. And they're trying to think 3 or 4 steps ahead. Like if I put this rock here, then what are they going to do with that? And then what am I going to do with that to sort of end the in? We curl innings, kind of like in baseball, we call them ends.
Okay.
So in a rec curling game, we have about 8, or how many we can do in 2 hours, which varies from 6 to 8, I would say. But in the Olympics, they do it for 10 ends. So you're always constantly trying to think about it. Now, the second team to throw ends up with the last rock, and the last rock has a special name. It's called the hammer.
Oh, I love that.
And the hammer it naturally gives you a bit of an advantage because you have the last shot to score points, right?
Gotcha.
So, your strategy depends on whether you have hammer or not. Generally, you want to start putting some guards up, which are sort of rocks between what we call the hog line, which means that it's in play, and then the house. To make it harder for the team that has the hammer to get around. And then maybe they miss and knock one of your guards in, and then you score a point. So there's a lot of things to think about, whether your team has the hammer, whether it doesn't have the hammer.
And how do you decide who has the hammer?
So at the beginning, the leads will flip a coin. If we don't have a coin, we do rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, I love it.
And the person who wins that, usually they get to choose whether to get hammer or not, so they always pick hammer.
Yeah, right.
And then the person who lost the coin toss, they get to pick what color rocks they get. So that everybody gets some choice.
Yeah. Nice.
So I think also I'm interested to know what makes somebody like Olympic level, because like you watch them and it's like, oh, I could push something down there. So like, what is it that separates the elite curling players from people that, I mean, obviously experience helps you, but like, what is it that makes them so good? The guys that you and girls that you see at the Olympics.
Well, experience, I think, is the number one thing.
Okay.
A lot of these people have been curling since they were 6 or 7 years old. Sometimes a little bit older, but generally they started on the junior ranks, and they've been doing it for a long time. And they've seen a lot of rocks go down the ice, and so they sort of know how much curl to expect, because the rocks don't just go in a straight line. That's why it's called curling, is they bend a little bit.
Oh.
So when we talked about sweeping, when I said to make it go straighter, is you're trying to take some of that bend out.
Right.
And so they have a better sense of strategy and what will work and what won't work. And they also, over the last few years, as curling has been in the Olympics, they've gotten a lot more athletic. So before you would picture the old guy, drinking the beer on the ice.
Right.
And, that doesn't happen for Olympic level curlers anymore.
Okay, so you got workworkouts.
They got workouts.
I love it.
They work it hard.
I love it. So are there guys known for being more accurate than others?
At the Olympic level, they're all crazy accurate.
Okay. Who's in other sports, you always hear about the GOAT debate. You got Michael Jordan versus LeBron. Who's the best curling player of all time?
Oh, you're probably going to get into Canada with that. Right. I think obviously this is debatable, but
yeah, right.
Brad Gushu is a current curler who's really, really good.
Oh, yeah?
In Canada.
I love it.
And Kevin Martin, he doesn't play professionally anymore, but he's sort of been there and won a lot in his time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. I love it. Yeah, it's just such an interesting sport to me. I love watching it. It's like when they start yelling and they're sweeping really fast, it gets so intense.
Super intense.
Yeah, right.
We like to consider it emphatically advising.
Yes.
Is that what I should tell when I yell at my kids?
Exactly.
I'm emphatically advising.
Yes.
I'm going to use that from now on.
Yes. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's a lot of communication going on, which makes it kind of nice because, once you've thrown the rock, really that person can't do much more. But but the sweepers are in the best position to determine if the rock is going too fast or too slow. But it's the skip who's sort of standing still who has a better view of the line and how much is it curling and how much is it not. And so it's important for like the sweepers to be like, oh, it's faster than you wanted it or it's slower than you wanted it, so that the skip can try to adjust because maybe he goes to plan B or sometimes in the Roanoke Valley Curling Club, plan C or plan D.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So have you ever so that's a lot of pressure on the skip then. You were right when you said you got to be good under pressure to make a decision and come up with a strategy as the rock is going down there. Wow, that seems like a high pressure situation.
Right, and sometimes, it depends on your score. If you're up a lot, then maybe you don't care if you give up a few points.
Right, you get more aggressive or less aggressive.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had one the other day, and I was curling against sort of our most experienced skip. He's been curling for 50 years.
Wow.
And I was well behind, and I could have taken a shot that he would have just gotten one. And I was like, well, I could do that. But what's the fun in that?
Right, right.
It's not going to help me win. I need a lot of points to win, so I need to try to get that one out so I can score. Now I didn't make the shot, but I had a lot of fun.
You went
trying.
for it.
I went for it.
Yeah, I respect that. Yeah, well, who cares if you lose by one or a lot? It doesn't really matter at that point.
But there's no real losing in curling because there's a tradition. Curling's a very collegial sport, so you always shake hands at the beginning and you always shake hands at the end. And then whoever the winning team is, the tradition is that they buy the first round for the losing team.
Oh, okay. I love it.
I like it.
So there's no losers in curling with that philosophy.
That's great. That's awesome. So you said it originated in Scotland. What was it like? Does it have, because I know do you know, is there a story behind it, the first people that played it or anything like that? Because I know, you hear some weird stories about, lacrosse and stuff like that.
Not a lot. I think it's a little bit shrouded in mystery. You'll see some, old, artistic renderings. So we know it's been around, and we know they were doing it on, frozen locks, and they were using channel stones.
Okay.
And so I don't think they were very standardized. And my guess is the brooms came in because it may have snowed or whatever, and they were just trying to get the snow off in front of it. And so at least that's how I picture it in my mind.
No, that makes total sense. Okay. That's awesome. So you were talking about kind of the high pressure situations that you go through when you're playing the sport. Is there an experience in particular that you remember? Is there one instance that stands out in your mind that was I guess, I would say probably the most critical decision making that you've had to make?
Well, luckily I wasn't the skip, so I didn't have to make the decision. But I feel like the most high pressure situation I've been in was it was in my 5th year of curling, and I was on a mixed team, which meant that my team had 2 men and 2 women. And we went up to this tournament that was hosted by the Grand National Curling Club, which was sort of at the time it was the East Coast Regional Curling Association. They've kind of expanded out, and Vegas is a member and some other places. But it was for all teams that had 5 or less years of curling experience from each member. So it sort of was a way to equalize it.
Right.
And my team was all 5th years, so in theory we were one of the more experienced teams there.
Okay.
And we ended up making it to the finals. So it was us and another team for the championship. And the trophy there is massive.
Oh.
It's called the Kaiser. And we were down big time. And we didn't have many ends left, but we clawed our way back. And we get to the very 8th end, so the last end. And, I was sweeping, so I didn't have to worry about calling the shot, but it was if we made it, we would tie and go into an extra end. But if we didn't, we would miss that opportunity. And we actually did tie it. We went into the extra end. We were all so excited. Of course, we lost at that point. But that was sad.
That's okay.
But we still, coming in second in such a big tournament was really excited. It's so much pressure. And you're just sweeping, you can't really control anything. And
that's amazing, though. Yeah, that's really
you can probably feel the adrenaline, just thinking about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so cool. So, what aspects of the sport would you say you enjoy the most?
So I like it that you can pretty much curl with anybody. You know, we have members of the club who are 14. We have some in their 70s, you know, men and women. We have some folks who can't do the delivery position because of a bad knee or bad back, and they can use a stick, and so they still get to participate in the strategy. And so that's what I really love about it, is it's very inclusive. We had some wheelchair curlers come out for a Learn to Curl in the fall, and that was a blast.
Yeah.
They'd never tried it before, but they loved it. So, I mean, and you can all be on the same team. You can have a wheelchair curler and a youth curler and, you know, a senior curler, and they're all on the same team, and they're all competing, you know, competitively.
Yeah.
And it's a sport, because of that, it's a sport you can play your whole life. Like, you can play it from a junior, or you can play it, you know.
That's amazing.
That is cool. And it sounds like you guys are out there having a good time, especially with like the no losing mentality. It sounds like that's the kind of sport I'm into. You know, it's fun to be competitive, and it sounds like it's got its moments to be competitive. But at the end of the day, it's just a game, and it's nice that curling kind of has that overall mantra to it kind of built in.
Right, yeah. We say at the Roanoke Valley Curling Club that our number one rule is to have fun. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
So like around Thanksgiving, we have a turkey toss. Somebody brings in a frozen turkey, and we try to see who can get that closest to the button. And then whoever
my
does,
gosh.
they get to keep the turkey.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. I love it. So if people are interested in
Yes.
Roanoke Valley to do this, to become a part of the league, how can they do that?
So you can go to our website, www.curlroanoke.com. We have some signups there for the second half of the league. It starts on January 7th, Sunday, January 7th. But if you can't make that day, that's fine. We'll have the rest of January and some dates in February and March, and we'd be happy to teach you if you don't know how to curl already. So.
Yeah, that's a good note. Is even if you missed the Learn to Curls, it's okay to join the league, and you could find out how to play in league play.
Right, and you don't need any equipment. You just need some like sneakers.
Oh, okay, that's
So
good to know.
we have some
too.
brooms you can borrow, and
Sweet.
you know the club has the rocks, so you don't have to carry 42-pound stones around.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing about hockey. Sometimes it's a large investment. So that's awesome that you guys just allow people just to sign up for the league and you provide everything else.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Emily, is there anything else you wanted to mention? Or we appreciate you coming by and letting us know about curling. It sounds like a lot of fun. I want to play.
Yeah, it sounds super fun.
Well, I would just say if you can't join the league, if you're interested, in, you know, we'll start again next fall with some more Learn to Curls and some more leagues. So just keep us in mind or follow us on Facebook, Roanoke Valley Curling Club. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.